All right, people, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel. And yes, I thought I had retired this series, but it's back. It's now time for another exciting edition of As the Who Turns. Yeah, As the Who Turns, being brought to you by PJ Rock Super Chats, Buy Me a Coffee. Very important sponsorship. Buy Me a Coffee. Also, Patreon and YouTube memberships. Yes, I thought I was retiring this cheesy and annoying soap opera music, but apparently it's back. If you like drama, and it's kind of silly, and thus this is, I'm in my lane though. People say, stay in your lane, dude. Well, here's the lane. It appears that Pete Townsend has some interesting things to say about Zach Starkey being fired and putting it all out there. Pete putting it all out there. Maybe a poor choice of words on my part. Anyway, brought to you, of course, in real time for just a few real people like you right there, like me here. All right, so Pete Townsend says some interesting things that I think might just end the Who. Okay, good. It could end the Who, what he said. All right. So Pete Townsend, it says here, comments on the controversy surrounding Zach Starkey. The controversy that just won't die. Now, you're thinking to yourself, well, Dave, at least it's good publicity, right? I mean, nobody's talking about the Who. Classic rock stations have moved on to Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots for their classic rock playlist. The Foo Fighters, definitely a classic rock band. When I think classic rock, I think Foo Fighters. I don't think about the Who anymore. And neither should you. You should not think about the Who as a classic rock band. Anyway, he's opening up. More poor word choices here. Pete Townsend is opening up about the drama that led to the band firing their drummer, Zach Starkey. Problems arose at the Royal Albert Hall show, which was a benefit for the Teenage Cancer Trust. During the song is over. A song, yes, that used to be played on a lot of classic rock stations. Not sure if it is anymore. Most likely no. But Daltrey was upset with Zach during this particular song. Townsend says, it's been a mess. He says, I couldn't see anything wrong. He told this to a publication called the I Paper. Couldn't be any worse than any other media outlet, the I Paper. He says, I couldn't see anything wrong. So Pete, who doesn't hear very well, might not have heard this at all. Just putting it out there. But he didn't see anything. So he's, I don't know, he's like in Hogan's Heroes. See no evil, hear no evil. Sergeant Schultz, yeah. What you see is a band who haven't played together for a long time. But I think it was probably to do with the sound. So yeah, folks, people are paying big money to see what's left of the Who. He goes on to say, I think Roger just got lost. Roger didn't know where he was. I think he means he got lost during the song itself. He goes on to say, Roger's finding it difficult, but yet they're all still out there, or at least Roger and Pete. Zach, not so much. All right. Now, this is the interesting thing. After Pete Townsend tells the I Paper that Roger got lost, Roger's finding it difficult, he goes on to say, I have to be careful what I say about Roger because he gets angry if I say anything about him at all. He'll be sacking me next. Wow. Man, these guys, I tell you what, don't they need like a publicist or somebody like a media specialist to say, hey, Pete, if you're talking to the I Paper, you might want to stay clear of the Roger Daltrey stuff. You might not want to talk about Roger. Just say everything's fine. We're moving forward. It's all going to be great. But no, he just goes out there and throws Roger under the bus and then puts the bus in reverse and backs it up a couple of times. As for whether it was hard to let Starkey go, Townsend says he wasn't the one who actually hired Zach in the first place. Roger invited him in. And get this gets even weirder. And at the time, I don't know quite why he chose Zach. He goes, but Zach is another Keith Moon. He comes with real bonuses and real difficulties. Oh my. So Townsend didn't even like the choice of Keith Moon. Or I'm sorry, he's recently said some negative things about Keith Moon, but now he's equating Zach Starkey, saying, he comes with real bonuses, but real difficulties. You know what? A lot of these guys just want a timekeeper back there. They don't want someone who's going to go off on their own riffs, and Zach does that. Obviously, Keith Moon was a pioneer doing that. And the people who liked Keith Moon liked him because he did that. And apparently, Roger probably thought, hey, let's choose somebody who's kind of like Keith Moon. He adds, I will miss Zach terribly. But quite what the story is, I don't bleeping know. I really don't know. Do you know why? This is why I use the soap opera music. Holy crap, Batman. So we get to the end of the interview, and we still don't know. He goes, I have no idea what happened here. It's just, as for the band's upcoming final tour of the U.S., Townsend doesn't sound excited about it. I don't know whether I've been up for doing anything with The Who since 1973, he says, but I am looking forward to it, not because it's the end, but because I hope that we can continue to explore other things. What other things? You mean after The Who's over? They're going to do other things? Folks, this whole video here is an advertisement for retirement. Guys, it's time to retire. If you want to do maybe some producing or some songwriting for some other people, I think that would be appropriate at this time. But those other things likely won't be music, according to Pete Townsend. He says he wants to make another album, but Daltrey doesn't. This is bizarre. So Pete has said over and over again that he doesn't want to make music, and now he says he does want to make music. Roger doesn't want to make the music. Roger, I understand. Roger wants to play the hits and apparently find a drummer who is very basic and just goes out there and keeps time, which, your good drummers keep really good time. And I get that. But you have to be able to hear the time in order to say, hey, that was really great, Zach. Or, hey, you're a little off there, buddy. Maybe we should get someone else. And I don't know. This is really bad for The Who, what's left of this. I mean, does anybody really care at this stage? I mean, I think people are showing up because it's Daltrey and Townsend, but the Zach Starkey was a bonus, as Pete said, but it's more for name ID and the fact that he did try to imitate Keith Moon a little bit on some stuff. I thought Zach Starkey, if you go back to that 2010 Super Bowl appearance, 15 years ago, when they actually had The Who at the Super Bowl, Zach Starkey was intense. You watch him playing and you're like, wow, he's kind of doing the Keith Moon thing. And of course, he is the son of Ringo Starr. And Ringo, by the way, is out there still looking great, playing with his band, the All-Star Band. And that's a story in and of itself. If Ringo was smart, he'd recruit Zach and they could be co-drummers. And I think that would be a really cool thing for the All-Star Band. But just a thought, hey, I'm not into marketing or sales or anything. But I do know this. Don't throw your bandmate under the bus and then say, he's going to get mad at me if I talk about him. And I just was talking about him. So there's a good chance that Roger is going to get wind of this, and maybe he will finally sack Pete Townsend, and that will be pretty much the end of The Who, and Roger can just go out there and tour all by himself. All right, folks, again, if you want to support this channel, buy me a coffee. Good way to do it. Patreon, YouTube memberships, PJ Rock Super Chats, and that's kind of it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't do a lot of good self-promotion, but I should be saying that. If you like the videos and do all that stuff, supposedly the algorithm will be my friend, but the verdict is still way out on that one. God bless everyone, including Pete and Roger and whatever Zach Starkey is up to these days. It would be cool if these classic rock bands could kind of go out, end in a dignified way. But apparently, this is the only way they can get some ink in the tabloids.